All right, it's exactly 8 o'clock New York time, Tuesday, February 6th, and we're looking at Bitcoin dollar. Making this video for those who are not in the chat room at this moment, taking a few minutes break, and no selling positions called. As you can see here, we're looking at the 4-hour chart. So for those who did not make it into the chat room, we're going to talk about what we reviewed last night. This was during the Asian session, the update that I mentioned. This is a 4-hour chart, and we had a price target here. I haven't moved this tag at all, this price tag at all. This is, again, the Fibonacci extension target at 5,800 area. 5,833 was where I left it here. The low, I think, went to 5,816. So when it hit that 5,816 area, or the 5,833, that's where we locked in profits. We're going to go to the daily chart. So when we go to the daily chart, I'm going to go back to the original setup. I've always got to go back to not just look at what's going on right here, because it gets very confusing, or your expectation can sort of get a little skewed when you're looking at some of these price targets and you're thinking, okay, well, this looks great. A lot of people, when this is a strong bearish candle and it's really negative, it's a full red candle, you're thinking you're not thinking of the possibility in most cases that it's going to roll all the way back up like this and maybe even go positive for the day, because before the end of today, this candle here could go white, meaning bullish. That's a possibility. We've always got to prepare for that. But again, back to the original setup, when I talk about the A high, the B low, and how deep the retracement was in relation to the Fibonacci retracement levels, the deeper the retracement is, the less likely I think that it is to reach some of these extension targets. It doesn't mean that it won't, because it can. Remember, trading isn't always exact. It's not always going to do the exact same thing every single time. It's going to change. It's going to do something different. It's going to do whatever it wants at best. All we can do is control our behavior and have some safety, precautionary trading measures in place that will help us prevent a winning trade turning into a losing trade. And the psychology all plays out here in this trade. But how long is it that this downtrend is likely to continue? And are there any technical signals or clues that we can identify, that we can use to identify where price might stall? These technical levels will line up with the amount of time that it takes, again, looking at a daily chart like this, that price would start to, or things could have an impact and shift everybody's expectations, and the trend's going to change. So again, going back to from the very beginning when we identified this trade here and got in at 97, the depth of that retracement here, using this Fibonacci tool, made me skeptical that even though I have a price target down here at about 5,200 or 5,100, it might not hit that level. So it's my job now at that point to take all available resources and tools and my skill to go down to these smaller time frames and identify points that are between where I'm getting into the trade and where it could reach. I'm sorry. I'm looking at another computer and a chart right now because of a currency trade, a FX trade. So back to this initial target, again, even though we know it's a possibility that it could reach this level, we need to prepare for the downtrend and this pullback finally hitting a point in time, not price, but in time, where things could shift. The sentiment is going to change, and it's going to move price in an opposite direction. Now it's possible that people could step in and we could see a significant retracement. It's possible. I don't know that for sure because I still need confirmation. Remember, everything I do is all about confirmation. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people are trying to pick tops and bottoms thinking, oh, you're just giving up a lot of money. And I don't look at it that way. I'm waiting for confirmation. I do much better and I trade better and I make fewer mistakes waiting for confirmation. I would rather, and this is a psychology behind my trading system and my strategy. So when I first started my trading career in 2001, I read a lot of books and a lot of theory on the idea of you could still have like a trading system. There was different varieties and different ways to describe these possibilities, but they were looking at the numbers, and they were saying you could have something even as high as 50-50 ratio, 50 winning, 50 losing, as long as you control and minimize the losers and maximize the winning trades. Okay, well, in order to do that, you have to have the skill set, you have to have the understanding, market psychology, everything that we're talking about, all these different things, to be able to identify how far price could go anyway. How often do we get into a winning trade when you don't have a solid trading system in place and you don't have the experience, where you're thinking price is going to go further and it doesn't, and it was a winning trade and now it's a losing trade? So it's hard to make all of that happen, to minimize the losers and maximize the winning trades. So then there was the idea where it was 60-40, and then there was some other ideas where you want to improve your winning ratios. All these different theories I would read about. So I said to myself, if it really comes down to, and believe me, I tried many times pounding on the top of my computer screen, hoping that price would go down, and kicking the bottom of my desk, hoping price would go back up. It doesn't work. There's no way we can manipulate price. At best, what I can do is control my behavior, my decision. If I don't understand it, stay the hell out of it. If I've done everything that I know I could possibly do to correctly identify and confirm the trade, then I can take the trade. That's the control. That's the struggle that most traders have right there. That ability to have that kind of discipline and that kind of control. So that's what you need to work on, and that's what I worked on. And then I said to myself, okay, well, I would rather focus in on being right all of the time. I want all my trades to be winning trades. Now, I know that that's not possible. I know it's not possible, and I know I'm going to experience some losing trades. But that is my target. That is my goal, is to be right every single time, as often as humanly possible, as often as I am capable, and that means controlling my behavior. It means leaving some trades alone that I don't understand and I don't have enough information. Things look confusing. There are times when I get signals and they don't look right. They just, for whatever reason, things just don't line up. And I take my hand off the mouse, I leave it alone, and then I watch. And it's a learning experience. And sometimes in that moment, the trade will hit its target. Yes, you can look back at it, and I used to. And I would say to myself, I should have taken it. I would call myself names. You dummy, you fool, you should have taken it. But that's not the way to look at it. It's a learning experience. If there is something wrong and something confusing, even if it's just that I'm not clearly focused and things are going on around me where I don't have 100% focus and that's all that was missing, or that it really was confusing and it really was one of those moments where I get a signal and the market's just creating that uneven, weird little opportunity where I could see where it could possibly go, but I don't have the confirmation. If I take that trade and it fails, then I've only got myself to blame. I broke my rules, and I can't break the rules. If I don't understand it and I don't know why price is moving, then I have to stay away from it. And the only way to get to that point is experience, or have somebody give you or teach you a trading system, and then you applying it and then getting experience in applying it and understanding how it works. It's going to take some time, unfortunately. A lot of people start and they're new in this business and they've been trading for a month, and they think that there's got to be some dedicated disciplined formula that they can repeat over and over again and it's going to work. And the structure might work. Somebody can hand you $1 million trading system, but if you don't have the discipline to execute it, if you don't have the experience to know when to stay away from it, then you're going to make mistakes and it's not going to work, and you're going to dump the trading system and you're going to blame whoever gave it to you. And that's not how it works. So I say very often that when I first started trading, I bought so many books, all these different online courses, all this information, just like everybody else does. And I stopped. At one point, I reached a point where in my career where I said, I've got to just stop all of this. It's not working for me. And I have to admit, I've always admitted that it's possible that I just didn't have enough experience to use the information, the good stuff. There was a lot of bad stuff out there. There really is. There's a lot of people that just don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they have a really limited amount of experience, maybe 8 months, maybe a year of trading. That's great. That might sound like a lot to some people. And I'm not saying that you cannot trade within 8 months or a year. You certainly can. But what I'm getting at is, for me, the way I did it and the way I put together my trading system. I know that I didn't have enough experience to know how to apply some of the good trading strategies that I was learning correctly. I made mistakes when I applied it. I didn't understand. There was a lot of things that I thought I knew, but I still didn't know a lot of other things that would have helped me identify these clues. It's so easy to look at a chart and to think that you're looking at the overall bigger picture, but maybe you've got this myopic focus where you're just looking at the few candles here. Maybe you see a price target and that's what you're focusing in on. Maybe you just focus in on this moving average, something like that. But then you're missing a lot of the data, or you're just being lazy about really going back in and doing research, identifying, using all of your technical skills. And what you don't know, you need to learn. And sometimes you don't know what you need to learn. There's all of those little missing components that are going to make up a good trader. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of people don't want to accept. It's a reality, and it's sad because I think a lot of people think that they can just pick up a trading system or a book and it's going to solve all of their problems. But there's a lot more. That's just the beginning. It's almost like being to have enough information to be dangerous and to actually hurt and do some damage. So I apologize for that rant. Just to try to give you some trader psychology and mindset. I hope it helps. So we have a possible bullish engulfing candle. That looks nice. This is a 4-hour chart. This is pretty significant. But how much further is it going to go? Is it going to take out this price swing high from yesterday or a few days ago? I'm sorry. I don't know. That's yet to be seen. So we just have to wait and see what happens next. Other than that, I think we're just on hold here. 1 hour time frame. If we get a candle that closes above this 1 hour candle here, it's possible that it might move up a little bit higher. If that happens, remember, then we're starting to look for another continuation breakout trade. So we would have a support low here. This is the 1 hour time frame. I would start looking for the continuation breakout trade here on the 1 hour time frame. We have a support low. It's confirmed. We've got plenty of candles to the left and the right, at least at this point. But we don't have a solid confirmed high just yet. There was one here, but at this point right now we're looking at about 8:22 New York time AM, and it hasn't even closed above that high there just yet anyway, so we're still on hold here at this point. It could close before the end of this candle, this 1 hour candle, above